The teenage me was more of a active and enthusiastic and a sports-loving character because it was most of the time into cricket. In fact, I grew up in the 80s and 90s, and it was most of the time spent on the cricket grounds and loved to take risks and even do cycling and all kind of sporting activities and less into reading those days. Of course, later half it came up naturally, but in those days, in the teenagers, it was more of very active role and asking questions on things that come to you as to why this and why not. It's actually a bit difficult to explain to a 5-year-old, but I would actually try to put it in such a way that putting myself in his perspective and to make him understand what we actually do is rather better rather than explaining what company or what we do. So the best way to explain him is that we make parts, or we make toys rather, that last longer and that never breaks, or will take a lot of time or an effort to break, and it will not break so easily. And for that I travel and talk to people who have problems with their toys breaking faster. So to a 5-year-old, toy is a much correlated subject. Say the most, it's actually looking at one. But if I say the most, there were actually two. But the first one was in 2001, when I had already started and worked in those days. L&T was even today, but L&T was a very popular name those days. And when you start working with a company like L&T, and when you want to step out because you get an opportunity, the resistance and the shackles that you have to break, I mean, that is something which is very difficult. And that was a risk in those days because job security and so many things comes to your mind. So I would say that was a first risk. And that first step actually brings you into a scenario where you can explore and start taking things as it comes. And you're not afraid of taking chances or risk. So once you take the first step risk, then actually you are naturally able to take risk and break the shackles. And that was, I think, the most important thing. And the second was, I would say, leaving the country for Gulf for a few years and then also returning back very shortly, because normally when people go back to Gulf, they're there for the rest of their lives. And that was something which was very important, going and then coming back very shortly. So that was something which was important. When it comes to leadership, it's all about what journey or what path you have taken. In fact, as you come across various leaders that you come across, if you actually filter and try to take the best in those leaders and leave aside the qualities that are not so good, I wouldn't say bad because it's perspective, but the qualities which are not so good, do not take them as you feel and take the good ones and keep building your own. And I would say accepting challenges is the first step to any leader, and then standing by the take when the team takes risks, being with the team, valuing their contribution, and most importantly, give the credit to the team. I think that's something which is very important. And for me to grow, I have to be constantly be on the ground. Like when you become successful, it's so easy to get carried away, but remembering those last mile person in your team is very important. And I think that is something which is important to grow as a leader and continue to grow as a leader. For me, it's very simple. It's like frankness, and frankness, positivity, and attitude to learn something or to do something new. And the most important thing is that whenever you have negativity or saying that no, the moment you start with a no, saying that no, I can't, no, I don't, so on. But then the willingness to say yes, I don't, but I know I want to. I don't know, but I want to. So that eagerness, keenness is what is the most important factor, and the enthusiasm. If the energy levels are good, I think we can train anyone on the new job and get them what you want to do. Well, the VUCA world has become a word which is becoming a bit more popular these days with the post-pandemic situations, and the pandemic has made people realize certain things which they would have never ever thought about. So in our scenario, I think what we need to do is in our world today is that we don't need to procrastinate. In fact, earlier people used to say, do not procrastinate too much. Then procrastination also helps. And creating strategies with caution and understanding and weighing the pros and cons. Weighing the pros and cons is also very important. And then the element of risk, which is there, has to be taken. And that has to come with innovative ideas that come from the team. So brainstorming is also very important. And along with this comes the flexibility that one has to be in and take things as it comes and do not be very rigid in the working scenario. So once one is ready for a change, I think if he is ever ready for a change, I think that's the best thing to happen, and you can handle anytime the VUCA scenario. I am sure everyone has been in that scenario. Yes, for me, it was quite a while back, many years back. And yes, and the answer to that was being patient, and keeping mom silent, and then accepting that, yes, you could have either handled it better, or I think learn from that how to face the situation the next time. In fact, it's simple that when your superior calls you for a frank report that he needs, and you actually give a frank report based on what was the ground reality, and it backfires from your immediate superior, and I think that's the worst thing to happen. And that's the kind of scenario I was in, but it's okay. It happens at times, and you need to learn as to how diplomatically to tackle it.